Alright, make sure you stick around for the entire video because we're going to be showcasing how to switch stick and the best settings that you need to be using. But first, we're going to talk about the best shells to use on defense, or the best coverages to use on defense when you're actually switch sticking. And in my opinion, the best shell is going to be some form of a cover 3 shell. So whether you have a cover 3 hard fight or a regular cover 3, the reason why this is so effective is because let's just say the offense has a route combination like this, dagger for bunch strong nasty, right? I can start on this linebacker right over the tight end, right? And I can read the play. So boom, they take it, I read the play, I see he's here, and then I'm able to peel up. Now, don't really worry about Baker Mayfield stepping on the pocket here because we're just talking about pass defense. But you really want to just watch my user defender on this play, okay? Boom. I start here, and then I'm here to guard their drag. Now that they know that I'm here, they're not gonna throw this drag, okay? And now I'm on this corner right here. I'm able to come down and take away this crosser right here. So we go ahead, go through it again so I can show you guys. Maybe I can get a better, more well-timed switch stick. But they go through it again. Boom, I'm here. All right, now I'm here. And you see, sometimes it takes more than one switch stick actually to, get on the right guy. And that's why cover 3 shell is so good to switch stick out of, because it's so low risk. You're not switch sticking immediately onto a safety or a deep zone. You're able to get onto this guy, stay under control, boom, and then you see I'm actually on this guy now by accident. And that's why the switch stick is so important to practice here in practice mode. But then you're able to see I'm able to eventually get on that safety at the last second, okay? And this is another thing, very important, okay, that you need to understand with the switch stick. When we talk about this is a great shell to switch stick out of, this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to immediately switch stick onto this guy and then bring him down too early, okay? I kind of didn't do it right there. I actually just didn't do a good job of getting a good switch stick. But let's just say, this is what I mean when I say you don't want to do it, right? Crosser, right? You do not want to do switch onto this safety, come all the way down. Then you can see how X right there is a wide open touchdown, okay? You absolutely cannot afford to let that happen, okay? So that's why a cover 3 shell is so good, because you're able to first switch onto a linebacker a lot of the time, and then you're able to get under your safety, and a lot of time, by that time, their play is going to be developed, and then you can actually not switch it too early and switch it on time. But a cover 2 shell is another good one, because you still have a lot of those underneath defenders that you're going to be able to switch it onto, right? So let's just say they called a different route combination right here, a spot concept, right? So I could start here this time, boom, get here, take away their curl, get here, take away their corner, right? And obviously your pass rush, getting after the quarterback. My controller is actually broken, just for those of y'all that are interested. That's why they keep just stepping up immediately. But we go through another one here, wide trail, right? Because what's gonna happen here, we're gonna be able to start on this guy, boom, boom, guard the middle, and then take away their post deep down the field. So you can see how when you run basically a shell defense like a cover 2 or cover 3, you have a lot of those underneath defenders that you're able to switch it onto and kind of take away the middle of the field and just roam, okay? So you're able to roam, beautiful, and then you're able to get into your deep zones here, or your mid read in this case, and take away their deeper routes. The main problem I see with players with the switch stick actually is this, where you take it and you're just giving yourself up too early. And so when you actually use a cover 3 or cover 2 defense to switch stick, you're actually able to get onto those underneath defenders early in the play, and then eventually transition your way up to those deep zones. So those are the best coverage shells to switch stick out of. I like cover 2 and cover 3 shells. Alright, and before I showcase to you exactly how to switch stick in Madden 26 and the best settings, I need you to go down below, hit that subscribe button for more daily tip videos just like this. Alright, here it is. No more gatekeeping. BLT, how do you switch stick in Madden 26, okay? And the best way that you actually want to do this is by using the right stick, okay? I'm going to go through my switch stick settings in the next segment here, but you want to use the right stick. A lot of people say they like using the D-pad here. I'm using the D-pad, right? But I don't really like the D-pad, okay? The D-pad has certain situations. Comment switch down below in the comments if you want me to break down how to use the D-pad to, incorporate that into your switch stick ability. Just another pro tip that doesn't get talked about a lot. But mainly when we're talking about switch stick, we're talking about the right stick. Switch stick. okay, right? We want to use the right stick, okay? So really all you have to do, again, watch earlier in the video where I talked about the best coverage shells to use, but you just want to flick your right stick in the direction of the guy you want to switch onto. It really is that simple. So right here, if I'm on a Rose Boom and I want to switch onto Merrick right here, right? All I'm gonna do is take the snap, boom. This is about a 10 o'clock, or really, yeah, probably like a 10 o'clock switch stick, right? Where we're just going up a little bit and to the left. Okay, and that's really all it is. And you can also see how sometimes you get on the wrong guy. Like my first switch was onto this guy. So that just tells you I didn't put the stick exactly where I wanted it to be. All right, and so what I had to do was I just had to go up one more. So then but it's all about recognizing where you are. I realized that I was on this defender and not the guy that I intended to be on. So I knew I needed to switch again. Boom. And you can see how fast I was able to switch from him to him. Because what a lot of y'all do is you switch onto him thinking you were on Merrig, and you control this guy like you were controlling Merrig. And so that's a huge problem. So really, it is about practice. Practice is the most important thing, but you want to flick that right stick, like I just said, in the direction of the guy you want to switch onto. But you have to understand, you can only really jump from one defender at a time. I can't start the play on Jackson and end up on this safety. I can't start the play on Jackson and end up on this corner. So I understand, like, let's just say, for example, I want to start on Jackson. I have to go multiple times in order to get onto the right guy. And you can see how I switched it like 5 times in that play. And I was actually able to go from one side of the field to the other and then back to the other side, right? Just because of muscle memory and practice. Boom, get here onto 56, start on Jackson, get on 56, then get onto the linebacker, then get onto the corner, right? Then boom, go back across the field onto the linebacker, and then come back down to the corner. So you can see how that's all it is. It's flicking that stick in the direction of the player that you want to switch on to. A lot of times it's going to switch you on to the nearest guy, but it's not always going to put you on to the guy that you want to be on. So you have to make sure that you're switching multiple times. So boom, switch, boom, switch, boom, switch. And, it's just easy. It's really easy once you start practicing it. I can't make it any simpler for you. Start flicking that right stick in the direction of the guy you want to switch on to in your head, who you're intending to switch it on, but make sure you're paying attention to who the game actually puts you on, because you might need to start doing it more than once, during the play. Alright, so if you thought that breakdown of how to switch stick was good, wait till I show you the best settings you need to be using and why they're the best here in Madden 26. Alright, so when we talk about switch stick settings, you just need to come into your game setting, game options. You can do this in the main menu or in any game mode. And so here you clearly have your passing settings, but when you come down here, you have this setting called switch stick delay, okay? I have mine on none. I had listened to some other people talk last year when it first came out, and a lot of people wanted to use it on slight, okay? I don't like that. I just want to use mine on none. For those of y'all that want to disable switch stick, here it is. You can just keep going and you eventually run into disable switch stick. Would not recommend doing that. It defeats the whole purpose of this video, right? But here's the thing, okay? I'm gonna put mine on slight, and I just want to show you guys this. Now, you're not gonna be able to feel it in the same way that I feel it because you're not holding the controller, right? But I'm gonna tell you that there's a huge difference in slight versus none. Boom, I'm gonna take it, and it's just, I just can't do it. Now, I'm gonna be honest, it's not the end of the world. If you want to have it on slight, you can use slight. Slight's not terrible. It's just not instantaneous. Like when I literally tap my joystick in any direction, like I don't even have to fully move it up to be able to switch stick on none. On slight, you do. So it's a little bit more input here, and it's just, they don't switch you in the same way. And you still have to be intentional where you're switching, how you're switching, but when you have it on slight, it's just a little bit more delayed. The good thing about slight though is when you can't get quick snapped and then accidentally switched it onto a safety. I know that's happened to a lot of guys. It's happened to me where you're making adjustments, they snap the ball, and then you accidentally switch onto your safety, and then you're thrown out of sorts. That's very annoying, and that does happen. And a lot of the time when that happens to me, that's when the offense can kind of take advantage the most. So that's probably the advantage of slight for those of y'all that do like using it. But honestly, I'm gonna tell you, I just like having mine on none. I think the good outweighs the bad. Not having to tap my right stick all the way in one direction to be able to switch stick. I can just baby tap stuff and be able to switch. That's a beautiful thing, and that's why I like having mine on none. But if you're struggling with anything right now in Madden 26, I just helped this player, and this player transform their game in Madden 26, and I can do the same thing for you through one-on-one coaching. Check out the link down below in the description or click this video right here for more information, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.